Hi. Okay, so today is my last full day in LA before I leave for the East Coast. And this is my first time bringing my sewing machine on a plane or anywhere, so I guess I really just have to start packing. So the machine is going to go in one of these, and it's going to come with me as my personal item, or my carry-on. I'm thinking this one makes the most sense. Lamp in here, okay. I figured that the best way to go about packing my sewing machine was to just pad it with clothing that I was already going to bring because I didn't have a case that was made for the machine itself. And luckily that worked, so all we had to do was catch our flight and we made it to New York just in time for this weird jet skied up on the East River.
You don't just all of a sudden get that many jet skis.
No. So tomorrow is the day that I'm going to the Simplicity headquarters in Manhattan, and Mimi G is going to show me around the office and show me how things are done, and I'm gonna take you with me. So tonight I'm just gonna do some baking and chill because it's gonna be a big day tomorrow. I think it was the nerves, but I got a crazy migraine later that night and had to pass out after I took a shower, which is why I woke up with the craziest hair. Because it dried overnight in a towel, it just turned into a giant lump on the top of my head. But at this point, all I could do was hope that it flattens out while I dry my clothes, make my breakfast, try to recover from this migraine and not think about how nervous I am, do my makeup, but take a break to shove a hash brown in my face, continue getting ready, but be sure to check the weather before I get dressed because the temperature does change fast and often. And honestly, at this point, look at how far we've come. Throw in some coffee and I am a full human again. We are on our way. It was a very hot and sweaty ride, but we made it. And the reason we are here viewing the headquarters is because I have 2 patterns coming out with McCall's this spring and I cannot wait. My patterns are being made in this exact room.
When it gets to this stage, either Bonnie or Diane or Tatiana will send me photos of the muslin so that I can see if it's working, if there's something needs to change, if I don't like the proportion.
Yeah.
And then they'll make those adjustments.
And mine are actually in the exact stage that Mimi G just explained in that last clip. So they're sending me photos of the samples and they're so good. I'm so excited. Then once we were done in the pattern room, she showed me around the rest of the office so I could see where everybody works and get a good idea of the design process, sketches, how they choose fabric, and a ton of mood boards. And these adorable little guys.
I think we need a new corset. You can never have enough good corsets.
I also got the chance to meet everyone that will be working on my patterns along the way. They were all so nice. Jackie even had my sketches printed out on her desk when we stopped by her office.
Get it out.
I love.
Excited. It was all so much fun and I cannot wait for the rest of this process. After Simplicity, we took a short walk over to Mood, which I was super excited for because I had only ever been to the Los Angeles location, and they are different. The ceilings are a lot lower, which means you can actually touch everything, which I prefer. After I shopped around for a little bit longer, we decided that it was time to go back to Williamsburg and grab some lunch because we were both starving. We spent the next few days in New York thrifting and enjoying the city before we decided it was time to pack everything up and head to Cape Cod, which I have been waiting for because this is my second time on Cape Cod and it is so amazingly beautiful. As a kid, Lucas would come out during the summer because his family has a shared house out here. So I think it feels extra special for him to come out here and it's always a good time. We took the first day to settle in, but the next morning we were up and ready to get some coffee and some sweet treats and of course stopped at a thrift store, but not just any thrift store. The cutest thrift store that you've ever seen. They even had 50-cent patterns and you know, that is gonna be me one day on the package of a vintage McCall's pattern. How cool is that? They also had really great clothing for super cheap here. 10 out of 10. After that, we stopped at a local fabric store that was more for quilting, but the organization was insane. And they had the cutest little pup there. Hi. You're so cute. Oh, hi. I left with a few essentials, and from the thrift store, I got this leather jacket, this hat that says Sweetums on the back and Obedience on the front. Amazing. Lucas got this jacket, but I am stealing it. It's so cute. And I got 3 beautiful tablecloths / bed sheets to use for fabric while I'm out here. And of course, the first thing I did when we got home was throw them in the wash so I could get started. So I brought some patterns printed out from home that I wanted to make here, and I just brought some basics like the mini skirt that I have, the Monroe slip dress, a few different things. But today I think that I want to make the mini skirt out of the floral tablecloth that I got. So the first thing that I have to do is tape it all together because for packing's sake I printed it out but didn't put it together so I could bring it like this. First things first, I've got to tape it all together. I've never opened this before, but it folds in half. It's just very cool. I think everything should do that. Once I had my pattern pieces cut out, I started placing them on the tablecloth, and that's when I realized that I didn't have enough fabric to make the full skirt. So we're just gonna make a slightly mini skirt. Should be fine. I only had to take about 2 inches off anyways. And as you can see here, I did keep a small strip of the tablecloth's lining at the bottom of the skirt because I didn't want to interfere with the fringe. And after that, I took a grilled cheese break and thought about how if I'm gonna have gluten-free bread, I want American singles for my grilled cheeses. I want the real stuff if I cannot have gluten. And yes, I know American cheese isn't real cheese, but it is to me. And here she is. The only issue, which is funny now, is that I think it is too long. And I really don't know how that happened, but I am going to alter it and make it a little mini, and that's why I haven't finished the top of the skirt yet, because I am going to take it all apart later. And I'm ready to start on my next project, because I'm very excited to use this paisley bedsheet that I got because it's not my usual colors. And I got this fun thread from the quilt store that matched the fabric perfectly. I also want to mention that I'll be using a blue tablecloth that I got at the thrift store to line the dress. And after sewing it up, somehow the dress is gigantic. And I realized it's because I brought a sample pattern, not the final pattern. So I had to mark where I wanted the dress to actually fit, take it all apart, sew it back up, and then I had a dress that for the most part I was happy with. It's still a little looser than I want, but overall I really love it. I think I'm just gonna make it slightly shorter. And just like that, our time in Cape Cod is up, but we will be back later in the month. So come back for part 2 to see what else I make and to see where else I go, because this was a 2-month-long trip, so we did a lot. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot.